on a Sunday, no, Saturday. And when I heard it, I was at just 100 mil throughout. I listened to it everywhere, in and out. So I'm just showing a bit about that. And the nice thing about it again is that when they talk about cheating, and I thought, maybe it will be a reflection of what people will talk about when we look at Edo State elections. Maybe they'll be like, oh, they had cheated, there was something. But I mean, coming off the elections, by and large, I hear that it was free and fair, largely free and fair. So there was no cheating this time around, maybe. I'm yet to see if that'll be the ultimate conclusion, though. I mean, these are still early days, but the feelers are like it was free and fair. Perhaps a surprise to a lot of us who've been watching that scene. We're expecting a lot more rigmaroling and underdealings. So maybe this is a shock for us that things came out differently. A nice shock, though. So welcome to the show. You're listening to Today 95.1 FM, and this is today's quest. The segment is a newspaper review. We'll be going through captions on the dailies, and I bet you we're all looking at Edo State. Yep, and rightly so. So stick with us. We'll take you through some of the stories from the dailies this morning. We expect that you can also do that on our Facebook page, Today 95.1 FM. Go ahead, like that page, and you can catch up with the details of some of the captions to the stories that we'll be looking at this morning, and share your thoughts with us there too. I will quickly start with the very first story that we have here, and it's from this day newspaper. And the caption here reads, How Edo Governorship Contest May Reform Nigerian Politicians. How Edo Governorship Contest May Reform Nigerian Politicians. Also from this day newspaper, the battle for Edo winners and losers. The battle for Edo winners and losers. And also from this day, NNPC to unveil successful bidders for pipeline rehabilitation. NNPC to unveil successful bidders for pipeline rehabilitation. And we have from this day, old cultural animosity resistance to godfatherism aid Ize Iyamu's defeat. Old cultural animosity, resistance to godfatherism, aid Ize Iyamu's defeat. And also from this day, Buhari, Babangida, Tinubu, others mourn Idris, Emir of Zaria. Buhari, Babangida, Tinubu, others mourn Idris, Emir of Zaria. And be magnanimous, Buhari urges Obaseki as PDP routes APC in Edo. Be magnanimous, Buhari urges Obaseki as PDP routes APC in Edo. And then we move on to the Guardian newspaper. In the Guardian, we've got Northeast elders re-echo call for sack of service chiefs. Northeast elders re-echo call for sack of service chiefs. And from the Guardian, yet another story, implications of Obaseki's victory by ex-Senate president. Implications of Obaseki's victory by ex-Senate president. And we have from the Guardian, anxiety as schools resume, stakeholders list expectations. Anxiety as schools resume, stakeholders list expectations. And from the Guardian newspaper, US-UK visa ban threats of asset seizures did the magic, says Natasha. US-UK visa ban, threats of asset seizure did the magic, says Natasha. And from the Vanguard, more troops and police deployed to Kaduna Airport Road and other strategic locations. More troops and police deployed to Kaduna Airport Road and other strategic locations. From the Vanguard, we have here, staff of Niger Education Ministry, which 80% staff of Niger Education Ministry with forged certificates. This is coming from a committee. 80% of staff of Niger 80% staff of Niger Education Ministry with forged certificates from a committee. And yet from the Vanguard newspaper, we have why federal government is investing massively in railways and seaports. Mitch is the one speaking there. Why federal government is investing massively in railways and seaports. Mechi. And finally, from the Tide News Online, Rivers PDP boss tax women on peace and unity. Rivers PDP boss tax women on peace and unity. These are the stories that we may touch, but definitely encouraging everybody else to read upon. We'll have that on our Facebook page. But if time permits, we might touch all of them. If not, it's right there in the page. How Edo governorship contest may reform Nigerian politicians. The very first story from this day newspaper. It says here that Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State arrived Port Harcourt, the state capital, yesterday from Benin City in Edo State, where he had just delivered on his assignment as head of the People's Democratic Party National Campaign Council for 2020 Edo State governorship election. The PDP candidate and incumbent governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, defeated his closest rival, Pastor Osage Ize-Iyamu of the All Progressives Congress, by over 84,000 votes. This is by far more than the about 20,000 votes that differentiated the same two personalities when they locked in a similar contest in 2016. At that time, in a curious reversal of political platforms, Ize-Iyamu represented the PDP while Obaseki, who was the APC candidate. Strongly enough, much of the ammunition which fed the propaganda machines of the PDP against the APC candidate were provided by the former national chairman of the APC and immediate past governor of the state, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. As the campaigns for the 2020 Edo State governorship election started, and Oshiomhole realized, albeit with nail-biting regrets, that hurtful and malicious words he had spoken against Ize-Iyamu in the run of 2016 governorship campaigns were exhumed and being splashed everywhere to counter his newfound love for the APC flag bearer, he tried desperately, even seeking legal action to stop the audio-visual messages from circulation, but he was denied. With his back against the wall, Oshiomhole found himself in an awkward situation where he had to deny obvious statements credited to him. Was Oshiomhole telling lies against Ize-Iyamu in 2016 just to discredit him for political advantage? Though he knelt down before Edo elders and publicly admitted that he sold them a wrong candidate in the person of Obaseki in 2016, the damage against Ize-Iyamu was too irreparable. Many of the eminent persons that he ran to, including the revered Benin monarch Oba Eware II, found his new disposition funny and incomprehensible. This was the same man Oshiomhole had told the public 4 years ago could not be trusted for manifold character flaws. Reversing those statements without concrete or fundamental reasons presented Oshiomhole himself as one who is shifty. It could be said of Oshiomhole that he provided the rope with which Ize-Iyamu's 2020 political adventure was condemned to a tragic failure. In 2016, the perception of the people was that the governorship contest was between Oshiomhole and Ize-Iyamu, and they voted against Ize-Iyamu in preference for Oshiomhole's candidate Obaseki. This time, they voted Obaseki against Oshiomhole's candidate Ize-Iyamu, partly because Oshiomhole had previously damaged Ize-Iyamu's character through unguarded malicious statements that haunted him, more so because Obaseki was now campaigning on the basis of the achievements of his administration, which the larger populace had judged above average. One of the likely outcomes of the 2020 Edo governorship election, which will have profound implications for the rest of the country, is that politicians will begin to bridle their tongue. Going forward, politicians know now that many a truths are said in jest. As Oshiomhole has found out, the power of life and death are in the tongue, as the Bible says. With his tongue, he did incalculable damage to Ize-Iyamu, and though he later sought to correct it, it was too late. The false impression he sold to people had taken root. The tragedy of Oshiomhole Ize-Iyamu episode should inspire a season of profound political campaigns when political party manifestos are canvassed vigorously by candidates and the public allowed to interrogate the method of their execution. As long as comic characters like Senator Dino Melaye continue to make a mockery of the serious business of governance by publishing ridiculous videos, and all that Oshiomhole can do at political campaigns is to bounce up and down the stage like a rubber ball, the people who enjoy these comic relief are being shortchanged, and the country will continue to suffer a developmental setback. Emmanuel Ndukwe, good morning.
Good morning, Annie. Good morning, Nigeria.
I like to drive the angle this way. Does this change how we go about our campaigns going forward? I mean, the writer is talking about how politicians will learn to bridle their tongue. Do you think that this might set the pace?
No, it won't. At all, it won't.
So we don't learn?
No. We do learn, but maybe we decide to be hell-bent on whatever we choose to exhibit as character. That's what will happen. You know, this has happened in Edo State. And Edo people, for one reason or the other, which of course I will give my own thought on what I feel made them vote the way they did, they now voted Obaseki. You see, there may be states in Nigeria, it will happen. They will still go for that godfatherism. They will still walk, follow that godfather. But in Edo State, you see, one thing I agree with the writer, there are many of them he itemized that are very correct. And then again, he said, politicians, maybe it will offer opportunity, a veritable one indeed, for them to bridle their tongue. That is if they will ever do so. Because, I think what I understand is that in Nigerian politics, lies is what is embedded in it. Complete lies. And that is why I always say, if a politician tells you A, just believe in B. Now, what makes Oshomole, I don't know what, maybe he thought people were just very much ignorant, to look for a way to launder all that he has hit on. Yes. So if not that, maybe the interpretation will be that he was telling Nigerians the naked lies. And then Nigerians, whether you were lying to them or whatever, but those were your words. And so they took to voting Obaseki. See, the principal reason why I have been very consistent in saying, even though I'm not God, but I believe that Obaseki will win. First, incumbency factor. Second, the people of Edo State, and in fact, the entire Nigeria being sympathetic to him. And for me, I think the vote that gave him the victory is sympathy vote.
Let's because there's so many stories on Edo State.
To talk on Edo.
While we might look at how he won eventually, let's look at whether this changes the method of campaigns, whether there'll be a lot of maligning in the future of character, especially when we know that with the kind of politics we have here, you could be in party A today and be in party B tomorrow with no consequences. So are we now going to take a check when it comes to how we speak about our opponents, just in case we might find ourselves in the same party tomorrow? And so we don't have an Oshomole case.
For me, it won't change.
It won't change.
But it will, in some states, it may change like it did in Edo, but in others, perhaps more states won't adhere to that kind of change.
Okay, Manuel, we got your thought there. We've got with us Dr. Austin Sada. He's a lecturer, Department of Linguistics and Communication Studies, University of Port Harcourt. Good to have you here. Good morning.
Good morning, Annie, and good morning, listeners.
All right, so let's get your thoughts on this. Will it change anything when it comes to our campaign methods?
I wish it could, but I want to go along with him.
Oh dear. Nobody's learning anything.
Well, they could learn, but you see, the quest for power is an emotional journey of something that is not based on reason. At the time that Oshomole was doing the damage to Izeyamu, there was never a time he thought that Izeyamu could become an asset he will need in the future. And there's no politician who is going to think about your future if he could destroy you now, as long as he gets some gains. So if you give this scenario tomorrow, Oshomole will do exactly what he has done to this man, to Iyamu a second time, if they reverse the roles. Imagine that Izeyamu decomes to PDP and picks up the ticket of PDP in the next governorship election, and Oshomole is in APC. I can assure you, without deviating, that Oshomole will do exactly what he did before and authenticate it to tell the people that, look, when I told you in 2020 I wasn't serious. I mean, that's the way these politicians are. Until you get a politician to a corner where he can recant. If he recants, it is momentary. It is for what he thinks he's going to get. So nothing has changed. And if you look at the politics, the people, over 32 people deserted Obaseki in one capacity or the other, either as commissioners or SA or appointees to certain things, because they believe strongly that they were working with the chief fixer in Edo State, and that to remain in power, you can imagine to that extent a commissioner that is working with a governor, and you turn around and say a lot of other things because you want to continue your own fiefdom. So the quest for power is a blind journey, and it is the paths are paved in emotions, and nobody is reasonable about it. So nothing will change. Nothing has changed. As it was in the beginning, so it will be.
So shall it be. We got your thoughts there. We also got Wadi Chimene Esquire, he's joining us this morning. He's a legal advisor, Pandaf Obiakpo chapter, and he is the spokesperson appraisal for good governance in Nigeria. So, I mean, spokesperson for good governance in Nigeria. I would think that you will want to believe that this sort of rhetoric that follows our campaigns will stop, since we've seen how this worked against Oshomole this time around. Do you think that the feelers you have, do you think that we're going to see any changes going forward?
And a part of the politics we play in Nigeria. Good morning, Rivers people. I think I've been greeting since on Saturday.
Keep greeting.
For those that have been following me on Classic FM. It's the kind of brand of politics we play in Nigeria, just as the two senior speakers have spoken here. And I won't want to depart from what they have spoken. But
Why? Because you agree, or because you think they're senior speakers?
No, I just please.
It's just a question.
Yeah, so I think I have a little additional thing to say. And the kind of politics we play in Nigeria cannot be, you cannot dissociate it from what we call one of the figures of speech I respect in literature called litotes, or what we call litotes. I'm here for, I think the linguist can correct me. And part of it is when you want to, you state the positive and deny the negative. And that is the kind of character we have, especially when we have appointed candidates from the party level. Now, this goes to say that we cannot even dissociate godfatherism. Now, the only way you can decimate your opponent, whether by words or by, just as Mao we said, that politics has to do with anything that comes out of the barrel of gun. So it's all violence. I could remember when they were replaying what Oshomole said. He said, Yamo is a thief. Nobody should trust him. So you can see the level of, damage. And where they are coming from, it's not been far. It's not been, looking at the memory lane, it's not been more than 5 years. I'm sure those that are within the realm of politics are still memorizing that the word thief keep reoccurring. With the signpost and all the rest, with the gondola and all the rest, all came to the minds of the electorate. So I think it's just the pattern. Look at what happened during the Wike election 2015. You saw what happened. It was all tantrum. So it's just the best words, whatever you can use. And this is not the kind of, look at what they did in debate. Yamo was asking a different question. Obaseki was answering on that thing, rather than telling the people what they are supposed to do. So I think it has been just the brand of politics. And that is our trademark. The only way we can strengthen it is, first of all, we need to strengthen the institutions. Now, even when the institutions are being strengthened, we have to look at the characters that will strengthen the institutions. First of all, we restructure. Now, then we have to, like I said, we have to look at the Electoral Act. Who are the monitors of this Electoral Act? These are characters that oftentimes, like Festus Okoye will come out and say, look, the voters' education will have conscientized the people, who have created a consciousness that the climate is going to, we are free, safe, INEC can come in. Now, if you look at the testimonies that were coming out yesterday, you will see that even while they were voting, there were violence. If you watch at channels, people were trying to, casting tantrums. And that is the replica of candidates we have. That is what they exemplify. Because when a candidate is decent, he talks well, tell the people, this is what I want to do. I tell you to permeate down to the electorate. So the narrative will not change. It has come to stay. In fact, it will remain indelible.
But again, what I'm saying is that we also know that we jump from party to party. Yeah. Like, it could be this, like exactly the classic case is Edo State. Mm-hmm. And since this has also been associated in other states, we see people who move in and out of different parties. Are we not also going to take into cognizance the fact that we might just be on the same podium tomorrow with the same person we call the thief?
Yeah, that
and then seek to change that and say, okay, good, I won't call him a thief this time, because I don't know if I'm going to see him tomorrow on the same podium.
The rule of immediacy.
Like the right now. The rule of the right now.
Just do it now. Because, if Izeyamu didn't, if Obaseki didn't fall out with Oshomole, Izeyamu wouldn't have stood any chance of getting the support of Oshomole. So what they do is do the destruction now. Don't think about tomorrow.
Tomorrow will take care of
Yeah, tomorrow. And when it comes to tomorrow, because they also believe that we're a gullible set of people. Otherwise, how could an Oshomole ever think of sponsoring the same candidate. But because they think that either they think that the votes will not count or that the people are stupid, so they can
do it.
Very pliable.
All right.
They do anything.
Moving on, the battle for Edo winners and losers. It says here that with Edo safely in the kitty of states where its flag with the umbrella insignia is proudly flown in the government house, the PDP has recorded a significant increase in territory. The entire South-South region is now totally under its grip, having previously won electoral contests in Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Delta, Bayelsa, and Rivers. The party recognized the strategic importance of regaining Edo, which may be safely argued had always been a PDP state, until the 2008 court ruling that allowed what may be described as an all-progressive Congress championed by the immediate past governor of the state, Comrade Adams Oshomole. Even in the 2019 national elections, the PDP garnered more National Assembly seats, namely 2 senatorial and a majority out of the 9 federal lawmakers. So it was only natural that the leadership of the party provided a safe berth for Governor Godwin Obaseki when he was denied the ticket of the APC for a second term in office. Supported by his colleague governors, including Nyesom Wike of Rivers, Ifeanyi Okoh of Delta, Udom Emmanuel of Akwa Ibom, and the national chairman of the party, Prince Uche Secondus Obaseki, was seamlessly absorbed into the PDP. In the Edo axis, personalities like Honorable Omorege Ihama Obede, who represented Oredo Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, and Dr. Kenneth Imasobon were strong contenders for the Edo PDP governorship ticket, sacrificed their ambition to accommodate Obaseki in the PDP. In the end, the entire members of the PDP and its leadership are glowing in copious radiance at this notable victory. Arguably the most joyous person over the party's victory in the 2020 Edo governorship election is the national chairman of the PDP, Prince Uche Secondus. Previous outings by the party's candidate in similar elections did not bring him an outright and overwhelming win like in Edo. The victory affords Secondus the privilege to thump his chest in deserving accomplishment. His political adversaries made the tragic mistake of thinking of him as an underdog, completely disregarding the fact that he had so much fight in him. From a seeming disadvantaged position, Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State had completely turned the table against his former party, the APC, and strengthened the capacity of the PDP to completely dominate the political landscape of the Edo State. His triumph in the 2020 Edo governorship election means that a larger number of people of the state trust his judgment and that he puts the interests of the people above self. By decidedly killing the political giant who was the immediate past governor of the state, Comrade Adams Oshomole, Obaseki successfully served Oshomole the same bitter pill that the latter forced down the throat of the late PDP national leader and party stalwart in Edo State, Chief Tony Aneni. Going forward, Obaseki has become the new rallying point for voices of dissent against established political godfathers. Governor Ifeanyi Okoh of the neighboring Delta State could not afford to shut his eyes to political activities in Edo State, particularly when Governor Godwin Obaseki was not only a colleague governor but a member of the PDP family. Okoh had dutifully joined Obaseki's campaign train. He could be seen in the border communities between Edo and Delta, canvassing for support for Obaseki. Ultimately here, I'll just pause here. The greatest winner, according to the writer here, will be the PDP, and Secondus being the national chairman. One, because for the PDP, they have secured their hold on the South-South region of Nigeria. Obviously, everybody's looking at what happened in Edo and projecting a 2023. With a stronghold in the South-South that PDP has claimed now, it just shows that they will be a force to contend with massively when it comes to the South-South and what it may deliver for 2023.
Absolutely, there's no time. I've not seen since 1999 that PDP had not been a force to be reckoned with. That's the truth in Nigeria. Whether they win finally at the center or not.
Emmanuel, obviously, they're the only, what will I call it?
They are the second party.
They're the main opposition party, obviously.
Yeah. You see why I'm saying this is the projection that because they've taken Edo into their kitty to round off whatever is in the South-South, it will be premature if they are looking at that. The fact remains that the Obaseki issue is that when he left APC, in that circumstance, he did. To the PDP, they received him. And I think what is paramount in winning the election again for him is that we must look at the president. If the federal might was allowed, there is nothing for Obaseki. But because Buhari is neutral to this kind of politics, which is a very dirty one, is what has given him that particular shield. So for me, I think whether Secondus or whoever of the PDP should not in fact thump his chest to say, now I did that. The fact is that people do not like what Obaseki, the treatment Oshomole gave to Obaseki. That's what won it. So if anybody is priding himself as having achieved that, the person is making a grievous mistake.
All right, Dr. Ostezado.
You see, when I saw for the first time during the election, when I saw the situation room of PDP, I actually thought it was the INEC situation room. I haven't seen anything like that before.
That kind of situation room.
Yes.
That's it.
The PDP, if there's anything any political party could learn from this election is that without violence, you can police the election. Technology is the new police. Now, when you look at that, you see feeding from different local governments, and you see live images of what is happening. And I think PDP was prepared to get enough documentary evidence, records to prove a case in the court. And APC will have also seen that if they continue the way they thought, or the way PDP made it to look to like the public, that they probably will not have a case against it. So technology was a bit of check. I don't think that the federal might was not used. The federal might was put into reckless use. When you hear, I didn't hear of the report of how the APC stalwarts, how they were gagged. I didn't hear of how they were kept in isolation or in house arrest. But we heard of almost every person about the PDP, even though I didn't even know what they were going to do because movement was restricted. So, and when you see, for me, when you see agency of government like the police, like the army, clearly showing that we're in support of this group of people, then you cannot say that the federal might was not put into use. But going forward and looking at what happened in Edo State, if the people can stand, I think it was the Inspector General of Police also who told the people, when you cast your vote, go home. I didn't know why that statement had to come. People should not stay at the polling booth, cast your vote and go home. But you saw from the video clips we've seen that a number of those polling booths, people stayed back. In fact, they were the one counting. The officers who just raised the vote, they were the one counting and insisting that you should record it. So I think public participation is crucial to our election, to the success of our election. So we should learn from this that if the people stand up, their vote will count.
Right.
And the use of force is not going to help anybody.
So here, you're going to give it to the PDP here.
Yes.
How the strategy they employed this time around.
Yeah, it was good.
So we give it to Secondus?
Yes.
Right.
Secondus.
He's the national chairman.
Yeah, we can do
in
that.
In that form. He's the national chairman, so to him. All right.
It will be very wrong for me to give glory to somebody that doesn't deserve it. What really happened in Edo was an act of God. We even saw the likes of Secondus in so many places that were lost. Secondus was alive in Imo State. He was alive in so many states. Now, just as people...
But did they strategize the way they did?
And have we not been strategizing? And it goes into the pit of hell. At the end of the day, we score 15. You see APC coming out with 100. Bayelsa was a classical example. Now, I don't know the spirit that went into Mr. President, with due respect. It was a calm spirit. And immediately he just said, if he had just said, please, the IG, we saw how the governor was shouting, just 17 hours to the election, that his hotel was besieged. And I am in the conscience of Obiapo group. When once there is an information in that platform, it is being sieved before it is. Because if you send anything, of course, somebody will delete you. We have people that are, whose job are, when you give false information, they will have to keep you at home. So, once, immediately the message came, we were just calling. Civil society group will have to mobilize. NAS here, those National Assembly, Rivers State, those of them from UK, Chinda, had to say nothing should happen to the governor. So it was at that point that Mr. President messages were sent. A letter was written to the president directly from NAS, Rivers State chapter. Please, nothing should happen to the governor, including other groups and other notable.
So the president said nothing should happen to him.
No, let me tell you. Let me tell you. The world was actually watching at us.
Yeah.
The Edo State. Edo became the litmus test for free and fair election for 2023. And the president would not want to spotlight himself in a negative light. Remember, agitations are going on. And part of what is causing this agitation is all this free rigging and all the rest. And it has become part of political parties. His Excellency immediately had to say, look, please, that the security men, the DIG should leave there. There was an order.
Okay.
After all, the IG was not even picking. He said the governor should go back. At the point, he said, Yamo, called the governor to leave the state. So, it was not the act of Uche Secondus. After all, we failed a lot. We failed many times. In fact, their calculation was even wrong. He said, Yamo, didn't he do his own campaign? They all did their campaigns. It was an act of God. In fact, at the point, the president had to issue a command, say, please, the election should be free and fair. That they should allow people to go and vote. That was what made that party to be less. Else, we saw 31,000 men on uniform. You know that what that means? Even when it was on the page of newspaper, that alone is an apathy. Some of the old men, youths, you know the number of people that collected voters and the PVCs were the youth, more of the youth. And you know what that means? The elderly people will not even want to go because soldiers were littered everywhere. And if a soldier had carried the ballot box, nothing will anybody would have done. Even not even Uche Secondus. He would have gone to his house. I remember one election we did at Port Harcourt City. He was somewhere arrested. I'm a member of PDP. They should spotlight me. Yeah. He has not done it. He shouldn't take credit. In fact, it was God that did it. Right. I don't know what happened to Mr. President. I don't know if he traveled to China, but he was like, please, I don't want trouble. Remember, the UN was equally calling that they should allow that election to be free and fair.
Right.
So it wasn't, if he had decided, unlike him, on military uniform, with his junta character, they would have won the election. They would have won it.
All right. Okay, we got your thoughts for the Chairman Square. All right, Vivian Douglas, communication and media consultant. Good morning.
Good morning, Annie. Good morning, everyone.
All right, let's hear from you on this.
Interestingly, it's been an interesting weekend overall. And when the elections was going on in Edo State, I just didn't say anything. Because I know these people, I'm just like, let me not get too excited when the results were coming. I'm like, let me just keep quiet and see what happens at the end of the day. But generally, like Chimeli said, we give kudos to God, whatever he did to Edo people that made them stand up for themselves. Because the rate of voter apathy in this side of the country is something that's what would make you feel like, I'm not going to vote. These guys are going to kill me or something. So we know that we have issue with voter apathy. But seeing the Edo people come out in their numbers, the most interesting part is that they were told to leave after voting, but they still, I don't know if you saw that video where the PO was raising the voted ballot papers, and they were counting alongside and shouting. And that shows that something new is happening, and I hope that other states in this region can take note and learn to participate in elections, especially voting. Now, one of the things that interests me, I'll go back again, is the situation room.
Let's navigate it this way.
Okay,
we're looking at the winners and the losers, and the writer was talking about the PDP being the biggest winner and PDP securing the South.
Okay.
Of course, projecting what a 2023 will look like with PDP having the South, and therefore, Uche Secondus came up as the person to give this much accolade to. So we're looking at the biggest winner here. That's all.
Okay.
Who would you tell?
I find it has nothing to do with Uche Secondus. Right. It has nothing whatsoever to do with. I mean, this is the first election that PDP had under him. No, it has nothing to do with Uche Secondus.
Yeah, maybe this time around I'm going to give him my best shot.
No. Obaseke knew exactly what he wanted to do. Let's also give kudos to Governor Wike, who used his usual approach to these things. Because if he wasn't there, his doggedness would maybe to his largest extent save the day too. But it has nothing to do with Uche Secondus. Let's not go there, Annie. No, I don't know what the right time meant, but let's not go there. This is a victory for the people. It is the people's victory. And those who played crucial role is the Obaseki and Governor Wike here, because Governor Wike, from what we learned, did a lot of underground work, which a lot of PDP people said they don't want to discuss in public. But whatever Governor Wike did or is doing seem to be working for him. As per saying that the PDP is now strong enough to take up Nigeria in 2023, I think that's a far dream. that's very far-fetched, and I don't think anyone should count on that, because it's what it is. If other people do not cooperate with Governor Wike or get to Obaseki to get his MO, how he was able to achieve the victory, then they're still not going to win. Ondo, which other state is coming up? Ondo is coming up recently, and everybody's saying, will they also allow Governor Wike or use the Obaseki's pattern? Because when you see the situation room and how the people responded, it tells you that this is a victory for the people. It has nothing to do with the secondaries. Maybe the PDP, if they can begin to bring in Governor Wike to play more crucial role in their elections.
All right. So the battle
Maybe
for Edo,
but he knows his words, though. Whatever he's doing, he knows.
the battle for Edo, winners and losers.
For me, PDP situation room, Uche Secondus, Governor Wike, everything about PDP, none should receive the credit.
Oh.
See, I tell you,
All right.
the only person that created the climate of peace is the President of the Federal Republic
And they are
of Nigeria.
congratulating him.
The instruction that he gave, that even made the IGP himself come low on the instruction of barricading Governor Wike's lodge, is what took place. Because I tell you, see, on Saturday when we came here and we heard about that, on inside, that's what we discussed. And I practically condemned that because I didn't hear Ganduje was barricaded. I didn't hear all of that ones. Then I said, is the federal might not beginning to show? But in the end, they left everything. Governor Wike did not stay there. He later moved out. Yeah. So, once the president of the nation is neutral to whatever is happening, then you see peace and success.
Why is he neutral? Is he not interested?
Because there are a lot of factors. American ban. I tell you.
That's what I was going to say.
There's a lot of factors. Is anybody considering that a factor there will be the divisions within the APC itself?
No, not really. It's another factor.
There's the CPC, there's the ADC.
No, it's another factor.
If they allow the ADC sector to die off, the CPC takes hold of all the machinery is left.
Yeah, and remember the superiority of
we'll come back
the
here.
power
We'll come back here.
Anyway, we'll come back.
Yeah, I'm trying to come back.
All right, let's move on.
Today's talk, maybe.
NNPC to unveil successful bidders for pipeline rehabilitation in the first quarter 2021. It says Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation within the first quarter of 2021 unveiled the list of successful bidders among the 78 companies that submitted bids to rehabilitate its critical downstream pipelines, associated depots, and terminal infrastructure. The corporation, in a statement issued yesterday in Abuja and signed by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Dr. Kenny Obateru, noted that the rehabilitation will be based on a finance, build, operate, and transform model. The statement quoted NNPC Group Managing Director Malan Melekari as saying the virtual public bid opening at the weekend that the exercise was in fulfillment of the corporation's commitment to transparency and accountability. And I'm quoting now, this is not possible to achieve if we do not have the leadership disposition that is in support of transparency. I can confirm to all of you that it is the clear directive of Mr. President that this company must be accountable and must be transparent to its shareholders. We must take all necessary steps to make sure that our transactions are known to the citizens of this country, that we do things for the common good of all of us, and that in doing our business, we must ensure integrity. End of quote, the GMD stated. He said, as an EITI partner company, that corporations must also always disclose her transactions, contracting processes, selection of its partners, identities of partners, and beneficial owners of partners. Nobody will cut corners. Nobody will cheat the shareholders of this company. And also this company will ultimately deliver value to its shareholders. This is from Carrie. NNPC has always been seen as, when we talk about corruption, they were like, oh, that's the tower. We will point at NNPC as the tower. Truthfully or wrongly, we always will do that. But he's speaking about how transparent they are now, especially with this process for bidding, and it was done openly, and that it's an assurance to all stakeholders. Of course, stakeholders for NNPC will be all Nigerians, that their actions will be communicated to the Nigerian people, will be carried along in everything that they do. And that's, in essence, to be as transparent as possible.
Well,
no hiding corners for them.
Yeah. You see, at least in principle, so far as we've read, the fact remains that the NNPC have been in operation for a long time in Nigeria. And if they are talking about transparency, maybe they are just about learning it. And if they want to start with that. Change is the only constant thing in life. So if because of these, is it pipeline or whatever they say, bids or what? Now they will start transparency. Let us see. But for now, they are known to not to be transparent. But the truth is that if you have people that are very bad, there is always also one side of their life that will be very fine. So maybe NNPC is trying to learn transparency.
All right. Okay. So your thoughts, Dr. Ostisado?
Well, I think, in my view, whatever transparency NNPC claims to be exhibiting is managed transparency. There is nothing transparent about it. If you follow through what happens in government circles in award of contract, I think they call it selective bidding or something, where if they want to give it to a certain people, they determine the number of persons they will invite into it, and they can come together and determine that, look, the people, they give information. We've heard of situation where it's okay, this bid, this project, the minimum is this, the maximum is this. If you put outside this, you're going to go out. And you tell your people, look, do this, do this. I mean, there's nothing. NNPC, until they begin to deliver. If you remember that our refineries have been, the turnaround maintenance in our refineries have been done severally, yet we are not producing. And this is just a trading organization. And NNPC is a trading company as far as I know. The downstream infrastructure they're talking about, we talk about storage and pipeline connection. And those are things that you get people involved and say, oh, do this, do this. I don't think that NNPC, even if they are transparent now, we will not see that transparency until many years from now if they consistently maintain it, and we'll begin to see the result of that transparency. There was never a time NNPC claimed not to be transparent.
All right.
Even in the time when they were submerged in corruption, they were also
very transparent.
Transparency. So the transparency is just for the press. Is for the bidding ceremony.
It's for today's quest. It's for today's quest. Let's have your thoughts on that, Wadi.
Well, let us not crucify NNPC. Maybe they've gone to baptize themselves, just as Jesus went to John the Baptist. Well, I think the duty of non-disclosure is a crime. It's an offense within the NNPC laws. And secondly, for them to have come out to tell us that there will be daily disclosure or coming out with this kind of rules, I think we should eulogize them. Now, what we should be looking at now is the personalities there. Singing this kind of songs, we've had it. And looking at the character that are there now, maybe, I don't know if they've restructured their mind. But as Nigerians, I think there are people, watchers of, watchdog of Nigerian politics. And we know that the level of sin that I've committed so far in Nigeria, part of it, a good chunk of it is that of NNPC, emanating from NNPC. And most of us will not beat our chest to sing a glorious song for them.
All right.
Because we know that there may be a target for them to have even come out to be disclosing. Somebody can even decide to disclose 10,000 naira and hide 100 million. So I think with EFCC and ICPC should be in their searchlight there.
Okay, let's quickly get to Vivian and then we'll take a break.
Okay, a quick one. When it comes to the federal government and federal government contractual processes and transparency, I wouldn't want to put them on the same sentence. That's because personally I've worked in the process that involves the federal government contractual bidding, and I know what all that looked like from personal experience. So I saw the whole process. While we're shouting in the media is transparent, we know that it wasn't transparent. So when it comes to these things, I really wouldn't take them serious
I'm glad you
until.
said we know, so that means you're part of the people who came and said that it's
And
transparent.
please.
It's very revealing.
Very.
So quickly. So for me, when we check on the transparency thing is when this contract, when the bidding process is done, let's see the names and companies, the companies that bidded for this contract, see the names of the people behind it. Then we will now begin to listen to care about transparency or no transparency. For now, Annie, let's just pretend.
And if there are no proper check and balances,
I'll see you guys on the top after the news update. Thank you very much.
Has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
56 minutes has gone past 8, and we've got Dana from Odibolo Properties Dana, good to have you. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone listening right now. Good morning.
All right, let's hear what do you have for us this morning. And where is Machi?
Training for official presidential assignment.
All right,
but she's doing very well.
Okay.
Good morning. Happy New Week to everyone right now. And as usual, Developer Properties, we're here to give you good news. Even though we are giving you good news, we're also there to tell you I'll be introducing one of our lovely properties that we've been shouting since, Home View Layout. It's located off Rimokushi Gweche Road. And this property is so lovely because you can start building immediately if you want to. However, even if you just want to just secure it for your investment purposes, you can also do that. It's going for 2.2 million naira. Like I said, located off Rimokushi Gweche Road, just 5 minutes drive from the oil mill roundabout. And it has an access road, it's well planned, it's well fenced, it's already fenced. You know, people have these issues of they don't want to interface with communities and all those stuff. That's what Debola Properties are there for you. They just stand in the gap to take away such challenges for you, and they're always on ground because we have so many properties apart from this one. So we are not going anywhere. We also like business, we also like profit too. So whatever we are investing in, you should just know that we also have acquisition, we have assets in that environment that we are telling people to come and buy. So apart from that is going for 2.2 million naira, we also have our treasure court. But I quickly want to call my number because someone called me on Friday, was like, madam, you're giving me so much knowledge about the properties, but your number, we're not able to get it. So you can reach Dina on 0704 237 7837 0704 237 7837. So apart from that home view layout, we have a treasure court. This one is for people that want to live, built environment. They don't want land. They've acquired a lot of land, or maybe because this corona period, you know that a lot of companies were actually stocked in some particular location. If you're stocked in Port Harcourt, you have spent a lot of money in hotels carrying your staff from one place to the other. This particular property is very suitable for you. And the good thing about this property is that the construction is still ongoing. So you can actually see and know the quality of materials that are being used. Yes. So you know that depreciation is not going to happen very soon on that property. And it's going for 55 million. It's a 4-bedroom terrace duplex. The rooms are so lovely. The environment is off Abacha Road in Jari Phase 3. And the payment plan is payable for 1 year. You can spread it on initial deposit.
How much is it?
55 million.
55 million. You can spread it for a year.
For a year. So it's very flexible. It's a very flexible plan for you. And since I'm right now here, I'm going to take our investors delight.
Yes, please take it.
So for those people that just want to secure an investment, land banking, want to buy as much as possible, this property is going for 550,000 naira only, and is located off Igwitali School Road, Igwitali School Road in Ipo. So it's 550,000 naira. It's already well planned. All you need to do is just to secure as much as possible, secure for your children, secure for your generations to come, because you know the prospect there is already high. Greater Port Harcourt is there already, so they have massive layout rules already on site, so you get to see it. And if you're looking out for agricultural purposes, industrial purposes, this is the one property that is good for you. So Debola Properties again are here to take off challenges, and because of time, we don't have to call all our properties. So whatever real estate need you have, whatever investment opportunity, yes, we are the plug. So you can reach me on 0704 237 7837 0704 237 7837. And our inspection days are Wednesdays and Saturdays by 10 a.m. So you can join us.
Inspection.
It's very free, you know now. It's very free.
Thank you so much for coming through.
All right. Have a lovely week.
You too, darling. Stay on the dial. Coming up is the news update in just a moment.
Are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Annie Abdul Salam. The joint health sector unions, Johesu, has suspended its 7-day warning strike across the country in a statement issued by its national president, Biobe Kontonye Josiah, the health workers comprising 5 unions, are expected to resume work today. Josiah also accused the federal government of resorting to blackmail and intimidation of members using what he described as all forms of faceless organizations rather than negotiating with the union. The health workers had embarked on a warning strike on September 14th following the failure of government to meet their demands. Police in Kana and Gokana local government area of River State have given a 2-week ultimatum to all gang members, including friends and associates of the late notorious kidnapper Boboski, to surrender their arms and report to the nearest police station. The 2 divisional police officers of Bori, Bako, Ambashim, and his Gokana counterpart, Belize Etete, gave the order during a town hall meeting with the people of Nwel in Gokana local government area. The police officers warned the people of Nwel to resist the temptation of accommodating persons with unknown identity or be ready to face the music if such persons were found to be cultists or criminals. Speaking earlier, the paramount ruler of the Nwel community, Menebon Sam Baribo Dao, called for the setting up of a security committee to work with the police and other security agencies to ensure lasting peace in the area. Election observation groups, transition monitoring group, and Edo civil society organizations have rated the Edo state governorship election as largely free and fair. The group, however, flagged incidences of voter inducement across the 18 local governments in the state by the groups. It said the 2 major political parties, APC and PDP, were involved and trying to outdo each other in voter inducement, with suspected party leaders glaringly seen sharing money to a group of voters, mostly women, in many polling units. This was disclosed in their preliminary report signed by the TMG chairperson, Abiola Akiyode Afolabi. The group noted that despite the few lapses observed, the election was relatively well executed and largely free and fair. Similarly, the Nigerian Bar Association has described the recently concluded Edo governorship election as generally peaceful. The decision was reached following the supervision of the observer group constituted by the NBA president, Olumide Akpata, with membership majorly drawn from different NBA branches in Edo State. The group observed that the presence of police, security, and military appeared to have calmed nerves of political stakeholders and their agents, adding that there was no incident of violence in the last 48 hours before election. The NBA also noted that the provision of materials was adequate in the circumstances of the elections conducted in the different units, and the materials were available in over 80% of the polling units as at when due. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated Godwin Obaseki on his re-election as the governor of Edo State. The president congratulated him in a statement signed by the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, urging him to continue to show grace and humility in victory. The president also commended the election process in the state, reiterating the government's commitment to free and fair elections. President Buhari also commended the people of the state, the parties, candidates, and security agencies for conducting themselves responsibly. And from the foreign scene, Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni has announced the further easing of coronavirus restrictions in the country as the infection rate continues to rise. The health ministry has blamed the rise in infections on the public's complacency to social distancing and wearing of masks. Museveni said the country will not remain under restrictions indefinitely, citing the economy's weakened health in the wake of the pandemic. The president said international borders will be reopened for tourists, while returning Ugandan citizens who have tested negative for COVID-19 will be allowed to self-isolate at home. That was the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget, take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap under running water. Avoid touching your face in high contact surfaces to prevent coronavirus. So have a good morning.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Hello, good people of River State. Are you looking for a new home or an investment property for the future in GRA Phase 2 and Peter Dili environs for as low as 8 million naira? Sunview Developers has got you covered. Call Erica on 090-863-0002. That is 090-863-0002. Or visit our office at Dunamis Road off Peter Dili.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95 Port Harcourt.
Exactly 7 minutes has gone past the hour of 9. You're listening to Today 95.1 FM. And at this moment, we'll be having representatives of Returns Market Investment Nigeria Limited in the studio with us. We'll be talking international capital market business. I have Mr. Kelvin Ejeko. He's the admin manager. Mr. Kelvin Ejeko, good morning.
Good morning, ma.
And I've got Mr. Salmon Ajay. He's the head of operations. Mr. Solomon.
Yes, ma'am.
Solomon.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Solomon Ajay, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yeah.
All right, good. So let's quickly talk about Returns Market Investment Nigeria Limited. Who is Returns Market?
All right, thank you for that. Returns Market Nigeria Limited, we're a financial firm. We render services strictly related to the international capital market business. So as a firm, we trade and invest in three portfolios. First, trading and investing in the shares, bonds, market. By this we mean trading on the floor of the Asian Stock Exchange market, the New York Stock Exchange market, and the European Stock Exchange market. Secondly, trading and investing in the commodity market. By this we mean trading gold, natural gas, crude oil, and finally trading on the trading and investing in the currency market, which is otherwise called the foreign exchange market.
Amazing. So what kind of products and services does Returns Market Investment offer?
Oh, our products and services are, first, we offer training services to people who want to know how to do this business, so they could do this business wherever they are, even from the comfort of their home. Secondly, our investment packages. We have the investment packages of the short term and the long term. The short term is a 3-month investment package, and the long term is a 6 months to 2 years investment package, in which our clients gain 10% as return on investment on a monthly basis. We offer the 50-50 service. This is where if you have any projects, you want to pay your children's school fees, you want to pay your house rents, you calculate the total amount of money, you divide it by 2, you give us half of it and give us 9 months. For example, if your rent is 800,000, you give us 400,000 and give us 9 months. By the end of 9 months, the total sum of 800,000 will be paid into your designated account. We also sell the renowned world-class banking instrument. The banking instrument helps you to navigate the market. It tells you the direction of the market in which you want to trade on per time.
You sell it now. Who do you sell it to?
We'll sell it to the public, anyone that wants to buy it. Yeah.
Anybody that wants to buy it can come in, not necessarily people who you're training.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. So, in that case, what kind of people do you want to do business with? Let me ask Mr. Solomon that.
Thank you very much. We have different categories of people that we want to do business with. We have 3 kinds of clients we would like doing business with. We have the category A. This is for people who want to know what the international capital market is all about. These are a set of people who know little or nothing about the international capital market, and we want to know. We render a training service to this set of people for a fee. They come in and we give them proper training, and for a period of 2 months, we believe that with their determination and confidence, they are able to trade the capital market as a professional. And then secondly, we render services to certain clients of people who want to be coached. A lot of people know how to trade this market but don't know how to make consistent profit. So we render coaching services to them. They come in, we give them coaching, and then at the end of 1 month, they are able to also trade the capital market, making consistent profit. And the set of people we do business with are those set of people who want their money to work for them. There are a lot of people who have the money but don't have time to learn and to do this trading. So they are the people who do business with us. They invest a certain kind of amount with us, and then at the end of the investment period, we have a short time, like my colleague mentioned, and a long-term investment plan. Now, for a short-term investment plan, we can have you invest a minimum of 300,000 and a maximum of 100 million. Now, with your return on investment on 10% profit every month for the period of time you are investing with us. Now, this set of people have their why people should do business with Returns Market Investment Nigeria Limited is that we've had the experience on how to trade on the floors of the capital market. And by God's grace, this is our 4th year doing this business. Now, as we speak right now, we're actually celebrating our 4th year anniversary. And what anyone can do to win any of these prizes, we started from the month of September, 1st of September, and we'll run through to November 1st, is to make a fresh deposit of a minimum of 1 million naira and above, or a top-up of 1 million naira. This is for existing clients who have been doing business with us, and they stand a chance to win some of our exciting prizes, we have 32 inches television, we have tabletop freezer, we have generator, and we have smartphone and other exciting prizes. And the second reason why we want people to do business with Returns Market Investment Nigeria Limited is that we've been consistent in delivering our 10% return on investment to our clients. We have never failed them. We have given the promise, and we are always standing by our promise without any excuse or complaint for these past 4 years. Thank you.
Amazing. So with so many companies unable to pay their staff, I mean, it is happening now. We have so many people who are complaining and had to be let go from their different jobs.
Yes.
And many others are shutting down their companies too because of coronavirus outbreak.
Yes,
How is the
ma'am.
Returns Market Investment able to pay our clients?
Thank you very much once again. Now, one thing we should understand is that the capital market does not need physical contact for this to happen. Now, Returns Market Investment was able to pay our clients because the international market does not need physical contact before trading on the floors of the capital market. In as much as banks were working during this pandemic period, we are able to trade and make money from home. And by this, all our clients were able to receive their payment in due time also. Thank you.
Okay. Let me ask this. Who is Returns Market Investment looking forward to doing business with?
Okay, thank you very much. Returns Market Investment is willing to do business with 3 categories of people, like I mentioned before. Those who want to know how the market runs, how to trade the market. These are people who want to enroll for training. We have other people who want to come for coaching classes. These people knows the market very well, and they can trade the market but don't always know how to make profit. They come and we give them coaching classes. The third set of people that we like doing business with are those who want their money to work for them. I mentioned that before. Those who want their money to work for them, they relax themselves, they invest this money, and we trade. At the end, we give them their 10% return on investment. Thank you very much.
Okay. How can someone contact Returns Market Investment Nigeria Limited?
Okay, thank you. You could contact Returns Market Investment Nigeria Limited at our corporate office at number 33B, Rumola Stadium Link Road, Port Harcourt. And our branch office at number 10 NCA Road, Checkpoint Junction, Rumokuta, Port Harcourt. You can contact us on the following numbers: 0815 518 9002. I take that again: 0815 518 9002 or 0903 652 7708. 0903 652 7708. You can contact our Facebook handle at Returns Market Investment Nigeria Limited and our Instagram handle at Returns Investment _Nigeria. Or you could send us emails at info@returnsinvestmentnigerianlimited.com. One word: info@returnsinvestmentnigerianlimited.com, or our website at www.returnsinvestmentnigerianlimited.com.
Right. When I asked you earlier about, quickly telling us about Returns Market Investment, you told us about the years you've been in existence. So I'd like to know what you've been able to achieve over these years in existence.
Thank you very much once again. For the past 4 years that we've been in business, we've been able to... For the past 4 years that we've been in business, in 2006, Returns Market Investment was launched by the special grace of God. And started off with just one office in Port Harcourt here, and with few number of staffs. But as we speak today, we have 2 offices in Port Harcourt, one our corporate office, which is at Rumola Stadium Link Road, and our branch office at Rumokuta, like my colleague mentioned. And then we also have our office in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. We also have another office in Owerri, Imo State, and we also have another office in Delta State, which is in Warri. Now, for this past 4 years, God has been faithful to us as an organization, and our vision is to see a Nigerian beyond oil. Thank you.
Okay. So what's the sustainability and future of the international capital market? Seeing this is where you're leveraging your business on. So how can we check out the sustainability and the future of this market when related to other businesses?
Okay. Thank you very much. The sustainability of the international capital market business has to do with fluctuation of market price. As a business person, there are 2 factors you must consider: the history of the business and the future of the business. The history of the international capital market business has to do with has been in existence even before Nigeria gained her independence. And the future of the international capital market business has to do with market fluctuation of price. There will always be market fluctuation of price. If you look at the opening price of crude oil as of today and the closing price of crude oil tomorrow, there will always be fluctuation of market price. So as long as there's fluctuation of market price and differential in currency, we're always going to be in business.
Really? Okay. So does recession have any effect on the international capital market?
Okay. The good thing about the international capital market is this. It doesn't depend on one country's economy only. For example, if your business as a business person is tied down to one country's economy, whatever happens to that country will affect your business negatively or positively, will affect your business. Unlike the international capital market business, as we earlier said, we trade on the trading floor of the Asian Stock Exchange market, the New York Stock Exchange market, and the European Stock Exchange market. So if the New York Stock Exchange market or the Asian Stock Exchange market is good today, we as a company invest our money in it. We'll make our money in that market because the international capital market is a global economy. It doesn't depend on one country's economy only. So, okay, for example, if you check Switzerland is a country that doesn't have any natural resources, but if they want to undergo any project or build schools, roads, and all that, they calculate the money they need and they inject their money into the international capital market business.
All right. So just before we wrap up, first of all, let me ask what makes Returns Market Investment Limited different from other investment markets out there.
Okay. So Returns Market Investment Nigeria Limited, we're different from other financial investment firms out there because of our consistent payment delivery of 10% of return on investment. We'll thank God for that. For the past 4 years, we've been so consistent with that. And also our proof of funds are on our company's website. If you look at our company's website, you check how we made 100 million naira, 11.5 million naira, and 36 million naira. I could tell you for free that we're the only financial firm in the sub-Sahara that showcased how profit is made on the floor of the international capital markets.
How did you showcase that?
We showcased that in the video, how money was being made on the international capital market business.
Okay, and where can I access that video? If I
on
want
our
to see
website.
Okay, it's on your website. What's the website again?
Okay, www.returnsinvestmentnigerianlimited.com. One word.
All right then. So I'm going to have, before we let me get your contact details again. Then I need to ask a few more questions. So can we have the contact details for all those who are listening and interested and needing to seek out Returns Market Investment Nigeria Limited? How do they contact you?
Okay, you could visit our corporate office at number 33B Rumola Stadium Link Road, or our brand office at number 10 NTA Road, Checkpoint Junction, Rumokuta, Port Harcourt. You could call us on the following numbers: 0815 518 9002. I take that again: 0815 518 9002. Or you could also call us at 0903 652 7708. You could visit our Facebook at Returns Market Investment Nigerian Limited.com or our Instagram handle at returns_NIG. You could also email us at info@returnsinvestmentnigerianlimited.com, or you could visit our website at www.returnsinvestmentnigerianlimited.com. The good thing here is that you could also invest online. So you visit our website, you can also invest online.
Online, you don't have to come to the office.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you did tell me something earlier about short-term investment and long-term investment. I just want to reiterate that for our listeners. What do you mean by long-term investments and short-term investments?
Thank you once again. Our short-term investment goes for 3 months. This is where a client comes in and invests with us with a minimum of 300,000 and a maximum of 100 million. What I mean by that is that within this short period of time, every month for this 3 months, you will be getting 10% return on investment paid back to a designated account that you provide for us. And now for a long-term investment, it runs between 6 months and 2 years. You can decide to do a 6 months, a 1 year, 1 year, 6 months, or 2 years. All these have 10% return on investment. All 10% on a return on investment, and after the period of investment, your initial capital is returned back to your account.
All right.
Thank
That's
you.
for the short term.
Short term is 3 months. The long term is between 6 months and 2 years.
All right. But each, whether short or term, it's or long, it's still 10% on any investment at
Yes,
all.
yes,
Okay.
10%.
All right then. So reiterate the products and services one more time.
Okay, our products and services we offer: one is training. We offer training to people that want to learn on how to do this business and how money is made on the floor of the international capital market business. Because returns market, we're looking at a Nigerian beyond oil and politics. So, and also we offer the investment services where you have the short term, which is 3 months, and long term, which is 6 months to 2 years, which will offer 10% on return on investment. The good thing here about the long term is if you're doing a long term, which is 6 months, you have the opportunity to top up twice with a minimum of 100,000. And if you're doing for 1 year, you have the opportunity to top up 4 times. If you're doing for 2 years, also it increases with a minimum of 100,000. Yeah, we also sell the world-renowned banking instrument. This is an analyzer. It helps you analyze the market or navigate the market in which you want to invest in. We also offer the 50-50 service. This is where you have your children's school fees to pay, you have your rents to pay, or you have your dream car. You just calculate the total amount of money, you divide it by 2, you give us half of it and give us 9 months. By the end of 9 months, the total sum will be paid into your account. Like I said, for example, you want to get your dream car and your dream car costs 2 million naira. So you give us 1 million naira and you give us 9 months. By the end of 9 months, the total sum of 2 million will be paid into your account.
Fantastic. All right, we have to wrap up now, but let's get to your details again. How can we contact you? Where are you located? And do you have branches outside Port Harcourt?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
So first, you could contact us at our corporate office at number 33B Rumola Stadium Link Road. Our branch office at number 10 NTA Road, Checkpoint Junction, Rumokota, Port Harcourt. You could contact our numbers there at 0815 518-9002. I take that again, 0815 518-9002 or 0903 652 7708 0903 652 7708. Our Facebook is at Returns Market Investment Nigerian Limited. Our Instagram handle is Returns Investment _NIG. You could also email us at info@returnsinvestmentnigerianlimited.com. One word. Or you visit our website at www.returnsinvestmentnigerianlimited.com. One word. We also have offices at Owerri and Uyo, and we are also loading in Warri.
Amazing. All right, thank you so much for coming into the studios with us this
morning.
Thank
you very much.
Mr. Kelvin Ejeku, he's admin manager. Mr. Solomon Ajie, head of operations.
Thank you very
much for having us.
Then. Have a lovely morning.
You too.
Are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Today is here. Yesterday is gone and unrecoverable. Tomorrow, you don't know what it holds, right? You have today. Yes, you heard me. You have today. The indisputable truth is that today is pregnant with both good and bad. You have freely been given today as a gift to see what you will make out of it. Permit me to be positive. Permit me to sideline the negative and magnify the good. Permit me to espouse on today. Today is great. Today is wonderful. Today is targetable and targets can be achieved. Today is domineering and you can be dominant. Today is a conqueror and goals can be conquered. Today is challenging and you can challenge yourself for the better. Today is cheerful. You can choose to be happy. Just in case you're sulking, saddened and feeling sorry for yourself. Enough of the wallow in self-pity. You have today. I mean today. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. Take that step today. Opportunities are everywhere. Just be sensitive. Build on yourself and get ready for the opportunity. Be the best you can be today, because I see the sun smiling on you. This message is powered by Today
95.1 FM.
Voice of the people.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie. Can you feel it? Wake up to today's quest with Annie weekdays. Fantastic.
Minutes has gone past 9, and you're listening to Today 95.1 FM. It's good to have you back. Let's just proceed. All right. So, before we took on the break, then we were going through some captions from the papers, and I do agree that this is where we'll be going to with our opinion poll today. Chiefs, Northeast elders re-echo the sack for the sack of service chiefs. And he says northern elites yesterday threw their weight behind the call on President Muhammadu Buhari by Northeast elders to sack the service chiefs owing to the worsening security situation in the country, especially in the North region. Among those that supported the Arewa Youth Consultative Forum, Alhaji Yerima Shatima, and other northern activists, Dr. Tanko Yusuf. The Northeast elders, under the aegis of Coalition of Northeast Elders for Peace and Development, had during the weekend expressed worries over growing insecurity, saying excuses being tendered by service chiefs were no longer acceptable to them. The elders, who made their position known in a statement, called on President Muhammadu Buhari to, as a matter of urgency, listen to Nigerians by implementing a recent resolution by the National Assembly asking him to rejig the country's security design with a view to improving security, which they described as so bad. The statement tagged, "We are tired of excuses, sack service chiefs now," was signed by the group's chairman, Zana Goni. The elders regretted that their silence has been misconstrued by some people and sections of the country because of the geographical background of the security chiefs, explained that their action was nothing close to that. According to the elders, they had been silent with the hope that things would get better, as promised regularly by the military leaders. But we've seen that in spite of the funding of the military by our dear president and assurances by our service chiefs that things will change, nothing seems to be happening in that direction. This is regrettable. So just saying, fine, it's okay. We're tired of hearing the same thing over and over. We'll do better, we'll get better. They're saying it's not getting better. People are dying and we can't take it anymore. So fire the service chiefs now. They said, re-echoing what the National Assembly had told or recommended to the president earlier on rejigging the security architecture. And they think they hope he does that now. They can't stand the deaths anymore. During the Edo elections, I had to bring in Edo elections, we saw the deployment of 30,000 police officers to Edo State. A lot of people said, well, we can send 30,000 people to Edo State or police personnel to Edo State, and we can't send them to man certain areas where we have kidnapping going on and bandits wreaking havoc. But when it comes to politics, suddenly our ears are picked. Manuel.
Well, the people that reasoned along that line are just people who don't understand what is the greatest industry in Nigeria, and that is politics. So long as it's what fuels whatever, and then the limited number benefit from it. And this limited number are those that are in the government circle. So they are politicians. So they will certainly do everything to make sure that elections continue, because that is the only vehicle that brings them in. Now, apart from that, as for this group of humans, perhaps important personalities in Nigeria calling for the sack of the service chiefs, I don't know exactly what it will yield, because it didn't start today. It didn't start today. And I know of one person in this country that had the prerogative of appointing the service chiefs, and that is the president, Muhammadu Buhari. I want to believe that he sees it in that same way, the prerogative it is to him, and that's why whether it is the National Assembly or any other group they call, he will tell you, at least in his mind, he knows what he wants, and the people are delivering. And so he keeps quiet. This new call is only to accentuate exactly the calls myriads of them had in the past. Not going to do anything. But will the president accept to sack them? Is he not seeing them as delivering? Well, I think it's better we look and see.
All right, Dr. Austin Sando.
I think that the president is made up his mind on the security situation in this country. I hope he proves me wrong. But my thinking is that he's not concerned about the state of security in this country. If it were otherwise, then he wouldn't need anybody to tell him that these officers are not working. But if he wants to live with the consequences of this, maybe because he understands that he will not be coming into the political arena anymore to seek for anything, and this is the best he wants to give to this Nigerian, then history will remember him for his actions. If you ask about when you look at the contradictions with elections, and even on the roads here, if you're going from Eleme Junction to Oyibo, you will see, as short as that distance is, you will see about 6 or 5 checkpoint toll collection. Actually, you see about 5 toll collection centers by the security people, and where the security men are needed, they will not be there. So even without me being a security expert, I think that if the president wants to deal with the security challenges in this country, they will do it. I mean, they talk about Sambisa and say, oh, Sambisa forest. What's the big deal about Sambisa forest? Why is it not possible to use drones to get the aerial pictures of what's happening there and even use it to attack these people? Why is it not possible? If you're not changing, let's even concede that the security security chiefs are doing very well, and by his own estimation, and it's not achieving result. Why won't you resort to alternative? In fact, moving through hunters, sometimes the way we think in this country, it leaves me with an impression that we are not human enough. Hunters, local hunters go into the forest with dogs, local dogs that are not trained, and they get animals. They chase them to their hideouts and sometimes chase them out to meet the hunters, and these hunters harvest. Why is it not possible to also even to deploy dogs alone, dogs in the forest of Sambisa will do magic? Dogs that can sniff cocaine, dogs that can sniff metal equipment and things like that. At this point, are we thinking? Somehow I sit back, and when I think about how ordinary our problems, our challenges are, and we are not solving them, I say, wait a minute, are we human? Are we human? Or is there something wrong with us as a people? Because these challenges are not difficult. And given the amount of money that we have voted into, if he was back, they will be taken from Abuja to Kaduna. So as long as you are not making provision, that your people are not exposed to the same condition, you are going to be immune to the feelings of the people, and so you cannot solve the problem. Right. Our expectation is that we survive the next 2 years. If we survive it and we get another president, perhaps they will change this, or they will renew their contract, and as civilians, after they have retired, they can renew their contract, because terrible things happen in this country, things you won't imagine. We're talking about the lives of people, for Christ's sake. It's a shame.
All right, we'll go your thoughts there. Let's get to what did you mean?
And it's not really to remove this service chief, especially when he gets